Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the Low Budget Review Show. I am your host, Eric Smith, and today I am talking about Red Widow by Alma Katsu. Hopefully I am saying her name correctly. This is from Putnam, and it's a spy novel. So Lindsay, let's check her last name. Lindsay Duncan is home on leave after an incident in Beirut. She's being investigated. But she's called in to work at the C.I.A. because a Russian asset has just died on an airplane on his way to Washington. 2 other Russian assets have disappeared, all within a span of 2 weeks. So they feel that there's a mole either in the CIA in the United States or at Russia Station, which is in Russia. So she's called in to investigate. She used to work for Russia Division, and they need to find this mole before any other assets are compromised. And that's your nutshell. That's where we're gonna settle for now. Excuse me. So right off the bat, Alma Katsu, I'm gonna have to read this. She had 35. All right. Apparently, I can't read well. She had a 35-year career as a senior intelligence analyst for several U.S. agencies, including the CIA and NSA, as well as ran the global policy think tank. So she knows what she's writing about. This is the first Alma Katsu book that I have read. People are singing her praises for her other books, The Hunger and the Deep, but I grabbed this one first. Those are horror novels. Because I wanted a thriller. I was interested and I hear great things about her, so I figured I'd pick it up and read it. It took me a little while to get used to her style. I believe it's present tense would be what it's called. You know, instead of saying Lindsay sat down, it says Lindsay sits down, right? That's present tense, which always throws me a little bit. Plus, it's a new-to-me author, so it took me a little bit of time to get into it. But once I did, I was in. So we meet Lindsay. We start with sort of the cold open, which is the Russian on an airplane dying. But we don't know the significance of it. We don't know anything, just that this guy died. And now Lindsay Duncan is being called in from her administrative leave and told that they think there's a mole. Excuse me. Lindsay comes in. She's worried about herself because of what went on in Beirut, which we eventually learn what that is. And so she's concerned about that, but she's here to do her job. But it's sort of anybody she talks to within the halls of the CIA, she's wondering, did they hear about what happened to her? And also, because she's looking for a mole, she's wondering if she can trust anybody, what they say. And reading the book, I feel Lindsay is the only person that we, the readers, can trust, because we don't know what's going on. We don't know who the mole might be. We don't know if someone's telling the truth, if they're lying, if they're manipulating Lindsay. It gets deep into the politics of the CIA. And I found it fascinating. And again, this is fiction, but it is from someone who's worked in the CIA. So, of course, I always wonder how much of this is factual, how much of this is changed because she can't write actual things. If I remember correctly, she was on a podcast, the Ghoulish podcast with Max Booth, a host. Fantastic podcast. And I believe, if I remember correctly, she said that anything, I may have this wrong. Anything anyone from the CIA writes has to be read by someone in a department in the CIA, and it has to be cleared. Make sure it's not giving anything away, make sure it's not problematic. So, again, I don't know how much she's allowed to say, how much she has to change. Either way, what's in here I find incredibly interesting. The characters are all well built. I really like Lindsay. And again, she's the only one that I trust as I'm reading this. And there are twists and turns. And because she doesn't know who to trust, that's what builds this lack of trust in the reader. She's always questioning, is what they're telling me the truth? She's also known as the human lie detector because of the work she did in college and a paper she wrote all about the tiny micro facial expressions that can indicate that someone's lying. So if she's not trusting somebody, if she's not sure, there's a lot of times where she's like, yeah, they're lying. I can see this, I can see that. But a lot of times she's not sure, and that makes the reader unsure. Now, a lot of things are exposed to us, revealed to us, however I should put it. But that just heightens the tension. We learn things that Lindsay doesn't know, and it heightens the tension because now we know something. It's that sort of Alfred Hitchcock thing with the bomb under the table. I think that's the way I heard the Hitchcock thing was you show the bomb under the table that nobody in the movie knows is there. That builds our tension because we are waiting for it to go off. And Hitchcock felt, if this is true, it might be apocryphal, that built more tension than just having a bunch of people talking around a table talking and then all of a sudden a bomb goes off. It's better for the audience to know. So that's what I'm seeing here. We know things that Lindsay doesn't know, and that builds the tension. And then as she uncovers things and we learn this and that, and she learns, man, by the end of this book, I did not want to put it down. I was just anticipating so many things that may or may not have happened. The tension, I could feel it as I was reading, which is great. Absolutely fantastic. When I started this, I didn't know how I was going to feel about it. Again, it's a new to me author, so who knows if I'm going to like their style. And then this, I meant to say this at the beginning. This is not James Bond. There are no car chases. There are no gadgets. This is straight up real world CIA intelligence operations. So it's a character story. It's about tension. It's not exciting shootouts, car chases, that kind of thing. If you're looking for that, there are writers that do that. That's not what this is. And so, again, as I'm going in, getting used to her style, learning the characters, and there are a lot of characters, or at least a lot of names thrown around, and a lot of terminology. And I wasn't sure. First couple chapters, I'm like, I don't know. We'll see. The writing's fine. The characters are fine. I don't have any problems with it, but it's just fine. I'm thinking 3, maybe 4 stars. By the time I got to the end, here you go. No surprise, I think, at this point. 5 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. I absolutely loved this book. By the time I got to the end, the characters, the style, the tension, for a book without gunfights and car chases and everything, it moves at a crisp pace. It's fantastic. I don't know what else to say. How else I'm going to sell you on this? I don't want to cover up her name. That would be rude. This is great. This is good stuff. If you like thrillers, spy stuff, if you're interested in how the government may or may not work, again, don't know how much is factual, how much she had to move around. I can't recommend this enough. Who else? Who has blurbs on here? I don't know. People. Lots of people blurbed it. But, yeah, that's... Is there anything else I'm missing? I mean, it's one of those that's tough to get into because I don't want to give anything at all away. Absolutely do not want to spoil anything. This is a book you've got to read and see if you can figure out things. See if, and if you can't, well, whether or not you can or can't, just read it for yourself. Have it all out there for you in its original form without me spoiling it. I don't know what the hell I'm trying to say. I'm trying not to spoil anything. Yeah, just fascinating and fantastic. Yeah. Certain things I'd like to say, but I'm not going to because that might spoil things. So there you go. I guess that's it. I can't think of anything else that I need to say or want to say about Red Widow by Alma Katsu. I'm definitely going to pick up The Hunger in the Deep after reading this. Yeah, that's it. So, let's see. I need a question for this video. I almost never think of these ahead of time. Are you into thrillers, spy novels? And if so, do you have a favorite author of those types of books? I've always enjoyed them. I've read James Bond books. Mickey Spillane had Tiger Man, if I'm not mistaken, who was sort of his answer to James Bond. I believe it's been a long time since I've read any of that. Jack Higgins is probably, I'd say Jack Higgins is my favorite of the spy thriller genre. And my favorite Jack Higgins novel isn't a spy novel, so I can't say that. Pick that as my favorite spy novel. I've read some Robert Ludlum. I like Osterman Weekend. I saw the movie first, which, if I remember correctly, is Rutger Hauer. But I wouldn't call that my favorite spy novel. I don't know. I didn't think ahead. I will go with Jack Higgins as my favorite author of thrillers / spy novels. And I don't know if this counts, but I would go with The Eagle Has Landed. It's definitely a thriller. I mean, he's got people undercover on a mission. I don't know that makes it a spy novel, but we'll just go with that. That's not my favorite Jack Higgins, but that is closer to what we're talking about here than the book that is my favorite, which is A Prayer for the Dying. So The Eagle Has Landed. There you go. I'm trying to think of other spy novel or thriller authors / series, but off the top of my head, nothing's coming to mind. I'm sure there are tons out there. I don't think I've read Frederick Forsyth. I have read Jean Le Carré, or however you say his name. I read Little Drummer Girl. That might be the only one. But anyway, all right, so do you like this kind of book? Who is your favorite author? What's your favorite book in this genre? That's the question. So if you have any comments, questions, or corrections, please put them in the comments below. Comments are open for spoilers. Just post a spoiler warning. We try to be polite here at the Low Budget Review Show. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you'd care to follow me on other social media, my Twitter is @Ronin5757. My Instagram, where I post pictures of books, comics, board games, and fuzzy animals, is EricSmith5757. That's Eric with a K, ErikSmith5757. That's it. This has been the Low Budget Review Show. I have been Eric Smith, and until next time, read more books.